The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Here I am. Hello. Welcome to the Nikki Glaser Podcast. It's Monday morning here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you're watching the YouTube feed, I'm wearing a robe. It's a robe day. Just felt like it. We have a special guest on the show who has a matching robe, so we decided to match. My best friend from 4th grade and on, Kirsten, who many of you already know. You've heard her on my previous podcast, You Up, and she was on my series show, You Up. I talk about her all the time on here. She's like my funniest first friend, and still kind of the funniest person ever. She's been here. She's been staying with me all weekend, and I got to be honest. There are times where I'm like, will you just fill in for me? She's given me so many good ideas for bits. She just thinks in a way, she thinks with a comedian's mind of like observing little things that you go, oh my God, she really just articulated that annoying thing that I didn't even know that I do know. You know, as I say this on stage, but a comedian's job, if we're doing the Venn diagram of what a comedian does, a good comedian, the idea that something is funny is when something is extremely true. So that's one circle, is it's true, like the most true thing ever, right? And then the other circle is you hadn't thought of it before. Like the general public hadn't thought of it before. So if you're able to get those perfectly one circle, you have the best joke ever. If you could either do one of each, you know, like you could be in just the true thing and sometimes that's funny enough, or you could just be in the never thought of it before. But the reaction you want from a crowd, at least I do, and what I think causes laughter is a response that we have. I mean, the evolutionary theory, I think, behind it is that when you laugh, like it makes a loud noise and it will scare away something. So it's something that you do in response to surprise. That's why a lot of people laugh when something traumatic is happening. Like, you know, when Louis apparently, you know, like allegedly took out his penis and the girls laughed, everyone kind of goes, well, why were they laughing? They enjoyed it. It's like, no, they were like scared. And that's what you do in response to like something scary. When I hit a garbage man with my car when I was 16, I put my car in park after I hit him and I started laughing because I was just like, did that happen? I was just like, there then came the tears and the guilt and the grief and everything. But like my first reaction was like laughter. It was really bizarre. But it also shows your teeth, which, you know, when we were dealing with predators and things, if you bare your teeth, that's a sign of aggression to be like, back off. You're surprising me and I'm trying to scare you away. Like, nothing scares someone away more than someone cackling needlessly. But you laugh when you're surprised, right? And so the best response from an audience member is to have them whisper just to go, oh my God, that's so true. You do that. I do that. I didn't even realize I did that. That's why, like, there's one joke I'm doing right now in my act that is so disgusting, Noah. Like, I can't even say what it is because I don't want to ruin it because I think it's going to go in my special. But it is such a bad image, but it's true and no one can deny it's true. And that's the joy I have in it, where I go, you know, I don't want to do that joke. I'm not trying to like make you guys go like, oh my God. Bleh. I like it because it's something that is true for almost every single human in the world. I found something that no one has thought of that is true for every single human that is seriously crazy. But the thing, a lot of I think before comedians become comedians, I have memories a lot of real, like this particular joke. It's a disgusting joke, like truly incestually disgusting, right? But I thought of it probably in like 3rd grade, like made the realization of like, oh my God, if that's true, then that's, oh my God. And I remember thinking that maybe like every human has probably arrived at this realization, but you just don't say it because it's so gross. But I just thought we all like kind of knew it but didn't talk about it. And then I mean, this is in my act too, because I kind of deconstruct the bit because I don't ever want people to think I'm just doing jokes to shock people. And this thing is so shocking that it's almost seems like that, especially as a female comic. Like, you just get so much ridicule and criticism for like, she's just, all they talk about sex, which people think is easy to get laughs, which sometimes it is because it's taboo equals surprising equals easy laughter. It's, you know, it's like sprinkling your act with fuck. Or sprinkling your act with, listen, you guys aren't going to like this. No, tell us. We're going to like it. You guys know the tricks of the edge. But I have to go into this whole like deconstruction of this joke because I feel so guilty that it's so gross and everyone in the crowd's just like, ugh. And I go, but that's our job that Venn diagram, I kind of describe it. I go, that's a full circle right there, like that joke. And there's certain things like that in my life that I've stumbled upon. Like the skeletons are always laughing. That's something that like is always been there. And I'm sure other people have thought of it. Positive that someone else has been like, it's funny that skeletons always look like they're smiling, or burn victims always look like they're smiling, which is ironic because skeletons are dead people and burn victims are, you know, badly injured people generally. Why would they be like, it's funny because it's ironic. Because like when you have no lifts, it looks like you're smiling constantly. I don't know what my point is. But skeletons are always like laughing. And yeah, they're all just, if you ever just think like, oh my God, I don't want to die and like be in a grave, like you'll be just like very happy. You've never seen a weepy skeleton. Or a depressed skeleton. Actually sounds like a children's book. The Depressed Skeleton. Well, I was in college.
I think you were talking about Kirsten being like the Venn diagram of comedy.
Than me? Yeah.
And spending the weekend with her.
This weekend, Noah, did you see my stories where we were making fun of Instagram influencers?
Yes. I was obsessed. And how like naturally you both were at it. A little too good.
The thing is, we're not the first ones to mock this like faux sincerity, kind of like presentation that your life is cozy and perfect, and you're just like you're a cute girl, but you're like trying to be like you're not. Like that's been mocked endlessly. Like there's so many Instagram accounts just making fun of these things. What Kirsten does so brilliantly, and she did it when we were at dinner on Friday night, was that she did a selfie where I think she was looking at her eyebrows or something. She was trying to like see something on her face. And she just took a picture where she was kind of just like making like a weird face. And she goes, doesn't this look like a post where someone would be like, guys, I've really thought a lot about my life this week. And I challenge all of you to really contemplate and take a break for yourself. And it was just like the way, it was just such a, that caption might fit something like a girl looking listlessly out of window. That would be like the easy joke. But a goofy face like that is such a thing girls do that is so subtly like fake. But I've always said that when celebrities do face masks, they'll do like a wacky like green algae mask and their hair will be up like in a messy bun or whatever. They're like, oh my God, I'm so vulnerable and I'm showing this like wacky side. And I'm like, guess what? Your whole face there's nothing vulnerable about that. That is not no makeup. That's extra, that's clown makeup. And like you're not being ugly and like, that's not ugly. That's like putting on a Halloween mask and being like, aren't I vulnerable? I just hate if someone's not aware of what they're doing, fine. But if someone knows what they're doing, like I recently heard about someone that started oh God, this is so humiliating. I mean, I don't even know how you'd live with yourself if you did this. It's so cool. My friend told me about this couple she knows that like started an Instagram account for like their business or whatever. And they both create fake accounts to like log on and write like fire emojis underneath their businesses. Like not their business, but their brand. It's not even a business, it's a brand, it's like their couple brand. And they'll do like, they'll make fake accounts to put fire emojis under their, like, how sad would you be to put a fire emoji under your own picture? Would you, I mean, there's got to be something inside you that is like so ashamed by that. I mean, listen, I've done very shameful things and like, selfish things and that are gross and just deplorable. Like, I used to wake up every morning with 11 to 17 protein bar wrappers in my bed because I ate all night long in bed because I starved all day. Collecting those wrappers in the morning was truly humiliating in a way that I can't even tell you. And I used to talk about it on my last podcast, but I'd say, oh, it's 4 wrappers. It was honestly so many more than that. And I could joke about like the kind of truth, but the real truth was so much sadder and uglier. And I felt so much deep shame doing that. I guess it's the same thing as putting a fire emoji on your own account, because it's something that I was doing to handle the deep sadness I felt in my soul that, or to cover up feelings that I didn't want to have. And people looking for validation outwardly and creating brands. Some may argue they're creating a brand to get money for their family, so for their loved ones. That's different. But this seems to be about like getting people to like you, which is the same as, food addiction. It's just filling a hole because you're not enough. I was just talking to Kirsten about this, about exactly what we started talking about, Noah, about like, over the weekend I was filming with all these cameras that are now in my life. And I'll talk about that as well on the show this week. I'm sure I'll get to that. I can't wait till we freaking announce it and I can just be out with it, but you guys get it. But this weekend they were filming Kirsten and I getting ready for my show on Saturday night, which I'll also talk about. I did a local show here. Fucking insane, by the way. Met so many besties. I can't even. Honestly, it's my heart is too full this weekend. I feel like I'm gonna barf. My heart's gonna barf because I am filled with just love for people and people who are listening right now. I love you. But Kirsten and I were getting ready, and I was talking about how funny she is and how, thank God, I always say about my sister, thank God she didn't pursue modeling, because I couldn't have handled that, like the attention she would have gotten if she would have pursued what she kind of, everyone thought she would do. Like, she didn't need the spotlight. Thank God for that. I wouldn't have survived it. I wouldn't have been a good Solange. And Kirsten is so funny that if she wanted to, she would be famous right now, you guys, without question. If she had the drive to be loved by strangers that I'd had, she would be famous. But Noah, we were talking about this morning, and I go, but you didn't want that. And she goes, well, I think we handled trauma differently because we both were traumatized by, our friend killing himself. She I would say more so because she was more connected to him and, for a myriad reasons, dealt with a lot more bullshit from that death than I did. But we both took that tragedy. I got anorexic. She got, she just kind of got party girl, threw herself into like socializing. But the thing is, I was like, no, I don't think that's it, Kirsten. Like, even before David's death, you didn't seek being popular. You became popular and kind of left me behind at one point because you were just so great to be around. People wanted to be around you. I had this desperation to be popular, not because I wanted to be friends with those people because they looked fun to hang out with, but because it would mean that more people would like me and envy me. It was like I didn't have self-esteem. You did. And then we got talking about it, and I was like I was angry that I wasn't born a model. And like I was, I've talked about it before, and this is so stupid because you're probably going, Nikki, you're beautiful and all that. I'm so grateful for what I was given, and I don't think this way anymore. But I used to be so angry, like, why wasn't I born a gymnast body or whatever? Every point in my life there was something I wanted, and it was like, it's not fair. And of course I'm like a white, like tall, lanky kid. Like I had nothing to really complain about, but it was just I was never enough, and it was never going to be enough. Like no matter what I looked like, I was always going to feel that way because I just had low self-esteem and she didn't. And I think that's what it comes down to. I'm so glad she had self-esteem and didn't need to fulfill it by being a performer, because she has it in her, dude. She is so freaking funny. Even yesterday when we were filming, I went to a recording studio yesterday, Noah, and recorded my first song. And it's so good, but
So awesome. I'm so
I
happy
can't wait
for
for
you.
you to hear it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, Matt Pond wrote it. Anya and Matt produced it for me and helped me with my voice. And I just heard it today, and it sounds so good. It sounds like I'm a professional. Oh my God. It's beautiful. You know, I'm not a good singer. Like, I'm not the best singer, I'll say that. I'm good. But what I was able to do was, like, Matt wrote a song for me that really I connected to, and I was able to, like, channel the emotions behind it, which is, I think, more than half of what makes a voice listenable is, like, you hear the emotions behind it. So I was able to do that. But yesterday we had the idea for me to just do impressions of sing the song, but with different people's, like, do Gaga, now do Ariana Grande, now do Gwen Stefani. And I was like, you know who's going to be better at this than me? Kirsten. And she came in and did the funniest run of, like, I was just going through my Spotify going, Rihanna, Bare Naked Ladies, Ryan Adams, Snoop Dogg, and she was doing all of them. She's a great impressionist. She can just do it right away. You'll see it on the show. She may be a little nervous today, so I don't want to talk her up too much, but she's just so funny. And it's nice to just be able to go. It's nice to be able to give her a spotlight now, because I don't. Although there is still a tiny part of me that goes, God, why didn't I think of that first? I realize that I think of things that she doesn't think of. Like, I'm funny in my own way that she's not, even though I do think she's funnier. And that's obviously subjective. What an amazing weekend we had. Thank you to all the besties that came out to the show in St. Louis at the factory. There were tons of them there. I met some of you after the show. You know how I feel about you. Everyone was there was a lot of my friends and, like, you know, people working on this camera project that's following me around, and they were all like, you just, like, light up around your fans. Like, you seem to, like, really you give them so much. And I'm like, it's not. And they go, are you exhausted? Because there were hundreds of people for me to meet. And they were like, are you exhausted? And I was like, not at all. Like, that was I wish I could just go do meet and greets instead of a show, because it was so fun to talk to you guys. And I'll talk to Andrew about who we ran into. I ran into one fan this weekend. That was truly an incredible experience. One bestie. I'm sure she's listening right now. Let's get him in here. Andrew! Hey, Andrew.
Good morning.
Hey, Roby.
Good morning, Robes.
I love that you are wearing a shirt underneath the robe. You didn't want to go? What, is the chest not in the tip-top shape?
Honestly, I didn't even think about it. I thought you went t-shirt under there. And then
No, boy.
Yo, girl.
No, boy.
Hey, girl. Yeah, no, I went t-shirt underneath. Is that not appropriate?
No, it's robe day. It's anything you want. It's kind of like wearing the t-shirt in the pool.
I'm also wearing a hat with a robe. Not many people do that.
Well, the hat is and the shirt are, you know, secondary and thirdary to the belt.
Yeah, I wanted to class up the joint.
Can you show the belt on camera? If you don't know, we are on YouTube right now, so you can see. This episode will, you know, take a little bit more time to get up. I think they're all delayed a couple days, but thank you so much to everyone who's been watching the shows on YouTube. Have you been watching the shows on YouTube, Andrew?
I have checked them out.
Are you reading the comments?
I've seen some comments. Yeah, they're all positive, except for one JTL1047. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, really?
No, I don't.
Is that a real one?
No, I know.
How fun was Saturday night?
Saturday night was.
I thought. Are you, like, thinking about what day that was?
Why?
It was the show.
Oh. I honestly thought you were talking about the dinner that we had. I'm just confused.
Well, that was really fun too. You went to the dinner with me, Kirsten,
Have we
Taylor.
talked about the camera following you?
Yeah, I've just been saying that cameras are following me, but I can't say for what.
Oh, okay.
But I think people can kind of.
Well, if they see us around town.
I'm like, what are they going to take it away?
Maybe.
Please.
Please.
Well, then let me just talk about it more because god damn, my life is. No, I'm actually loving it.
Okay. Well, they're gonna have to take down the lights in our house too.
Yeah,
They leave those. It's just an old abandoned.
I mean, the lights
an
are
old
falling
abandoned
down.
show. Like fast forward
No,
20 years.
I love doing whatever we're doing. And who said it was a show? Andrew, what about the show on Saturday night?
What show? No.
I mean, we can't talk about that, which is definitely a show. The other thing,
Who's on first?
all I'm saying is that cameras are following us everywhere.
So the
Could be for anything. It could just be I'm getting, I've just hired people to follow us
honestly,
for nothing.
It's not a bad idea. So the St. Louis show was incredible. It was what, 3,000 people? Just 3,000.
It's the biggest show I've done for myself. Like,
Can I be
that's been
honest?
for me.
It didn't feel any bigger than a regular theater that we usually.
What about a regular theater?
Well, either or unleaded.
A regular.
But
I'm sorry. It's probably so annoying to people who are like, just let him say regular.
what is it?
Regular.
Yes,
You just don't like use.
I skip them.
Skip. Listen. You got.
IEIO. That's it.
And sometimes why, but definitely never you.
Ow. So Saturday night was amazing. I mean,
That place
do
is
you
cool.
feel like when you come home, it's your hometown? Everyone loves that. Every celebrity's like, I'm coming back to my home. You see it on American Idol. I'm coming back to Lawrenceville, Kansas, and everyone's like, woo, she did it. And then a week later, they're doing meth, and everyone forgot about them. But anyhow, not you. But I'm saying like on American Idol because no one really becomes famous anymore.
Yeah,
But
from that show.
But do you feel like when you do your St. Louis crowd, you're talking about schnooks?
Yeah, like making local references. You know what? I felt like, guys, thank you for being here because you could just see me at Trader Joe's. Like, but obviously I'm not going to do my act in the fucking oatmeal aisle, which is where you'll find me. But and it's less of an aisle and more of just a rack. But you know what I felt like was there was just obviously added pressure because it was like this girl better reference some things because she knows. Like when I go to San Antonio, people don't expect me to know about every like kind of trope and stereotype. And I touched on a little bit. I wish I would have done more. I came up with a really good line earlier that I forgot to use about the Cardinals. Because the Cardinals are on a winning streak right now,
15
Noah.
games now.
15 games in a row they have won, and they were not doing well at the start of the season, like embarrassingly bad. We went to the Reds, like, kind of games.
Yes.
And they
Reds,
lost.
Cardinals, yes.
Yeah, and they lost. What is it called, though? Like, it's called, like the Reds run or whatever. Well, that's what I was going through this weekend.
Reds?
The Red Run.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah. I get mine every fucking 2 weeks. The Reds come in town. That's funny. Has anyone ever used that instead of Aunt Flo? The Cincinnati Reds are in town.
I don't know, but I like it.
I like it too. No, they're on a winning streak, and I was gonna make the joke that I think I'm responsible for it because I realized the second game they won, I hadn't changed my underwear in a day, and so I just decided to keep wearing those underwear. So my underwear's on. There's a streak going on that too. 15 of them.
Yeah,
Yes, that was your line.
Yeah.
So I forgot to do that. So there you
Well,
go.
what's interesting, it was 13, but then they won 2 more games in a row.
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting.
Yeah.
This town is gonna get buck wild.
I mean,
If we get
I love when a team
far.
wins and then our house will somehow get destroyed. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, you know what we're gonna do to celebrate? I'm gonna light my own car on fire. It's like this is a way for people to just get insurance money if their team wins. And it's like, no,
is
but
this hometown pride or is a hurricane coming? Like, why
what
are we
is
boarding
that?
up windows?
How is excitement lead to destruction? It's interesting how they like intertwine.
know.
What's
That
the
is
love and
interest-
hate thing, right?
Yeah, you're
because in
right.
hate there's destruction too, but it's like I
Yeah.
don't know. It's like let's burn this shopping center because Tommy pitched well.
Did you meet besties at the show?
There were
the
some
meet and greet.
besties afterwards.
Yeah,
There was
the
the
meet and
one
greet.
I really loved. First of all, the girl that was outside our apartment, who was like the nicest girl ever, who randomly was literally outside our door.
I mean, that was insane. That's who I wanted to talk about. I forgot you were there for that, and I'm so glad that you were. We were driving back from getting spray tans
yes.
for the show. I'm in Kirsten's car, driving Kirsten's car, pulling into my apartment, and we park, and this guy who's kind of trailed by a girl, probably 20 feet behind him, comes up, and I don't really hear. They're just like, what did they say? He said, are you Andrew? Did he say that?
No, I think, are you Nikki?
Something like that.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah,
But I
Are
also
you
have-
Andrew?
I also have all the people that are usually following us with cameras are now not with cameras, but just like, we're not filming right now.
Yeah.
So we were just going back into the apartment from shooting at this tanning place.
Which we're just doing for fun.
Yeah, just for fun. And it's for fun and it could be for something else, but no, I'm not saying that.
But mostly funsies.
And this guy was like, are you Nikki? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, my girlfriend's like a huge fan. And this adorable girl named Annie is behind him. Blonde hair, looks a little bit like Taylor Swift and me. I'm flattering myself.
Yeah.
But she's adorable. And she is like, oh my God. And I was like, are you guys like, did you like know I lived? Because they're like, we're just visiting from Memphis. We're coming to your show tonight. And I was like, wait, did you like know I lived here and we're like hanging out? And they were like, I think they knew the neighborhood. And so they were in the neighborhood already. But she was just like, oh, I know Nikki goes to that Whole Foods. But she was like, there's no chance I'm going to see her. And then all of a sudden I drive by and she was like, oh my God. I think her boyfriend's name is Mark, or her husband. Mark, that's Nikki Glaser. And he's like, no way. And she's like, I don't want to say anything. And he is a salesman. And so she was like, he thought nothing of it. So he ran up into the parking garage. Like it's an open thing. So he wasn't like sneaking under a gate or something. And he came up to us and she was so sweet. And I'm so glad she said hi because I hate when big fans don't say hi. And then later on, they're like, I was too scared. It's like, get that. I know what it's like to be nervous to like say hi to someone. I'm telling you, I won't make you feel weird about it. It will be a good experience. And she was like shaking and crying. It was so sweet.
Yeah, it was so sweet that she stalked us. But no, she was unbelievable. And then she was at the VIP.
She's a scientist.
Yeah,
I'm like a cute scientist, likes me and listens to us all the time. And
how did we trick her?
She got into the podcast during the pandemic when I was like going through depression, having to like do my show every day. She had just moved to Memphis, didn't have any friends. And she was like, you were my friend. And I kind of didn't have any friends in St. Louis either. I was just living with my parents. She's living with her guy and like lonely. And she was like, you kept me company. I'm like, you kept me company. And it was just lovely. And, some people say this to me sometimes, but she was like, you're like my Taylor Swift, like to make me understand how it feels. And I just get that because what I know is that I know I know how Taylor Swift is with her fans and she treats them exactly the way I do because she knows that they love her and like are her friend in a way that I am. Like Taylor Swift would have listening parties with her fans. She's the only person that would invite her fans. She'd find them online, her biggest fans, invite them to her house, her home for an all-night listening party where they like, dance and have fun. Her mom goes through the crowds at her shows to find the biggest fans that just like would love it the most, to bring them backstage. Like she's very much like, I love my fans. So like,
I wonder how long they hang out at the house after the party.
I need to set up. I wonder what it's like. Taylor's just like,
okay,
tired.
so
And they're still like chatting.
They're like, so what's the other part of the house look like?
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of having someone stay at your house, and I just never want her to leave.
Yeah, she's a great addition.
My best friend Kirsten is going to come on the show right now. Let's bring her in, Kirsten.
I never get to do it.
You look great.
Welcome to the show.
I mean, this is.
Thank you.
Yeah, just talking to the mic like this. Yeah, you can hear yourself, right?
Got it.
Yes. I like how you go. Yes, got it.
Yes, thank you so much, Nikki.
I love this. This is like a not me is right next to you.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of wild to look at right now. I'm not kidding, dude. This is weird.
Kirsten and I have been best friends since 4th grade. We met because she was acting out in class and got moved and sat next to me. And then I realized that someone was as weird as me and funny. And it was just like very
What is your
validating.
take on that day? Do you remember that day that you met Nikki?
I do. I just remember getting in trouble and then getting rewarded because of it. Honestly, I had kind of clocked you, Nikki, for a while. I knew you were. I had a feeling we were very similar. I saw you with your little like blonde ponytail, little shorts pulled up high, little t-shirt.
My shorts pulled up high.
Remember how like in '94 it was like you could like wear your shorts.
Yeah, we
pulled
all
up?
dressed like dads.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like middle-aged dads.
I remember feeling kind of excited to get to move by next to you, but I don't really remember our first conversation. I really wish I did though.
It was about
The markers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a set of bold markers in my desk.
Oh, you remember like markers that you just like Crayola markers?
Oh,
you
the
could have
12
like,
of them?
You could have like the regular colors. I think it was like 8. Like
Oh,
it
yeah,
was, like,
yeah,
a
yeah,
classic
yeah.
and Roy G. Biv, and then you could have there was a like in the 90s. This was 94. New on the scene were bold colors, and it was like a darker purple and like a maroon and like
It was like the waiting room, like the reception area at a doctor's office that was constructed in the 90s, like maroon and teal and like
teal was a part of the bold marker
Makes you
set.
gonna feel like you're gonna die.
And I remember,
just kind of.
It's like if you design your office like that, we're probably gonna die because you'd probably. Is that the sound of death? What
Oh,
show
that's
is
good.
that?
I usually
let's do
pick
that
the-
game real. Oh no, we'll do it later.
But
We
what
can
I
do it
wanted to
later.
say
Sorry,
was,
sorry.
yeah, I asked her for bold markers, and she was like, "Sure, you can borrow some." But I had clocked her because I saw in her desk she had on her marker case, on her pencil case, she had little dots of Elmer's glue, and I was like, I remember we were lining up, and I go, "Whoever's desk that is putting glue dots to pick them off, and likes pick and glue." And I love pick and glue, and I just remember being like, oh my God, someone else likes to do this weird thing.
Oh, it was the best.
And Kirsten loved all these weird things that I loved, like torturing mosquito bites. I've talked about this on the show before, and some of our listeners have written in about it. When you get a mosquito bite, we like to do X's in it with our nail and like torture it.
Like hot cross bun to make it like less
one time
itchy.
you took a curling iron. Do you remember when you tried to burn yours?
like hover it right over the bite and just go, oh, it's about to touch it.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember where our desks were. It was like the back right corner. You know,
Yep.
everyone would line up at the door.
Yep.
That's so weird. I remember that part.
I know.
And that's where
then-
you saw inside the desk that like little.
Did you ever get glue on your hands and be like, "Oh, I'm ripping it off like it's skin"?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I would eat it sometimes.
Oh,
Ever? No.
No,
Oh.
but you know, there is.
neither.
I think like
I thought we
kids
were-
who eat glue, there's like that's like a thing.
Yeah, it's a party.
You know, like there's
Yeah.
a thing of like, oh, he was one of those glue eaters.
Yeah.
but now
I
you
ate
know
a
that
little
that's
bit.
like just like probably like a tick or a spectrum thing. Like I could see how you could fall into that, and then
I mean, I
it's
love.
not as stigmatized.
I watched
now.
Love on the Spectrum. We watched the first.
Oh my
episode,
God, how
by the
good!
way.
People are dying for us to talk about it, by the way, because I'm a huge Love on the Spectrum
Oh
fan.
my
It's a
God.
show on Netflix that follows around autistic people in Australia who are trying to date, and it's all different types of people on different types of the autism spectrum. And my God, is it the best fucking show? And season 2 is not disappointing. How cute is the first episode?
I almost get emotional just thinking. Like
cry.
Michael might be the funniest person on Netflix. Like,
Yeah.
he is. His expressions when she goes, "I don't have a TV," and he goes, "That sucks."
Oh my
and
God.
it's just
He was like, oh.
You can just see he goes on these speed dates, and this guy, you can just see they don't lie. Autistic people, Amy Schumer covered this in her special about having her husband has Asperger's, and like he doesn't lie, and so there's something good about that, and like can be bad because it can be hurtful. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of times I deal with that as well, of trying to be honest, and you have to like phrase things in a way that won't be hurtful because the truth hurts, right?
Yes.
I think Lizzo wrote a song about it. But Michael's on these speed dates, and these girls sit down, and he's just asking them questions, and you can just see when he goes from being like, "You like TV too?" And then they'll say like, "Oh, I like watching like The Bachelorette," and he just goes, "Ugh,"
Yeah.
and his face just falls. There's no ability for him to be like, "Oh, you do." Like, there's no fakeness, and it's lovely.
And the conversation goes to like he was pausing for a second, and he goes, "My mind is at a crossroads right now. I can't think of another question." And he's just kind of like his face is like,
Yeah, they just say, "My mind, I can't think of a question."
I can't think of another thing
instead
to
of being
say.
like,
And he's like
How's the
honest.
weather?
Like he's like, "I like your shirt." So if he's complimenting you, it feels so authentic and nice and real because he's
Totally.
not gonna lie because he'll tell you your shirt's shit if he thinks it's shit.
it's I think they've learned, or enough of them have learned how to socially interact, that if they do think something is bad, to keep it maybe inside, so they don't say.
Yeah.
But like the thing he couldn't help was his facial expressions when he was sad that some girl was like showing so much promise, and then you go,
Yeah. He rolls his eyes a little bit.
So many times I was like, this girl is like everything you want her to be, Michael. She likes this and this. And then, at one point he's like,
Don't spoil
you know,
it.
I like collecting toys. And she's like, what kind of toys? And he's like, you know, Thomas the train engine. And she was like, oh, my nephew loves Thomas. And he was like, how old is your nephew? And she goes, 3. And he's like, oh, like it was just like
he's a germophile, which is the best word.
Oh my God, he loves.
the
I mean,
culture.
it doesn't sound.
He loves
good.
culture, so he loves the English culture.
He loves British celebrities. He just started rattling off British celebrities. No, you gotta watch.
And
like
then the
5
other
people.
guy's Ronan, who looks like Conan.
Ronan is so.
He looks like Conan, doesn't he?
What a great casting Ronan is. How do you feel though about? You know, Michael, this guy who I would say is pretty high up on the spectrum. He's a 26-year-old man living with his parents. His mom is so lovely. And Kirsten does a good impression of how he feels compared. He has a brother who is neurotypical and not autistic. And he definitely notices that all Michael wants in life is a wife. That's all he wants. He just wants to be a husband.
Ronan.
This is Michael. I'm still on Michael.
Michael said he feels like often like in Toy
Just
Story.
do an impression. Just really commit
No,
to
I
it.
thought
It's not a bad.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about
I'm
Michael.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, it comes from the first season. It's not like an original, but they pan over to his brother who's like lifting weights with his shirt off, and he's like, my brother has never had a problem finding a girlfriend. He's once been described as a filet mignon, whereas I, 2 double scoops of dog shit. And they pan over to him, just kind of slumped over, like looking.
his brother's like, So Michael goes on all of these speed dates, right?
Yes.
How do you feel about? There were some people that were neurotypical, and there was one girl that was actually also on the spectrum, and the rest were not.
At first, I did feel, I was like, well, are they handicapped? Like, is that like dating? Is that like a normal person dating someone that's like less intelligent?
But people are less intelligent.
That's what I was saying to Chris.
That's what I said to Chris too when I was watching it with them.
I go, if I date someone that went to Harvard or Yale, that's a bigger difference than if I dated someone that was like had like
spectrum.
a 90 IQ or
But
whatever.
the thing is, people on the spectrum are also hyper intelligent. There's a lot of
Yes.
people that go to Harvard and Yale that are on the spectrum, and
that's
so,
true too, actually.
and
Yeah.
I just don't see anything wrong with it. I think that if you're doing it to like take advantage of them and then like lock them into like a room and have sex with them all day or whatever it is, like, but I think that there are things about these men on this show that make me feel like, man, I feel like I would want to date someone who is what I do know is I want to have friends that are on the autistic spectrum. Like, I'm going to actively pursue working with people with autism because they are just as interested in things as I am interested. Like, I get obsessed with things and want to know everything about them. And like, I know there are Swifties out there that are autistic and like I'm a little autistic when it comes to Taylor Swift and or I have the same kind of obsession. And I think
Taylor Swiftic. Sorry. Keep going.
Yeah. And like I exactly.
Dude, that's perfect.
That was good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it was good.
But I was watching Love on the Spectrum with Chris, my ex, and we were talking about it. And there was one part where this girl who's fairly highly functioning on the spectrum. What was her name? I forget.
Oh, yeah.
The girl who was eating with her friends at the table and the wing women.
Yeah, and she's very into cosplay
Caitlin?
because it lets
No?
her be different
Someone else,
characters
yeah.
and kind of escape into a character as opposed to being herself, which feels like awkward. She was talking about how, I have had to learn how to say things so that it doesn't upset people, even though the thing I'm saying should not be upsetting because it's just the thing.
Truth,
It's just the truth. And Chris goes, I want an example of that. And I go, I've got one for when I have to do the same thing because, there's this, I remember I was eating lunch with Lizzie Cooperman in LA and we were at a place called Cafe Gratitude where you, it's very like, it's all vegan. I love it. But you order things that are called like, I am strong. And that's like the Caesar salad. So you have to tell the waiter, I am strong. And that means you want a Caesar salad. I am brave with dressing on the side.
So awkward.
I am easygoing with dressing on the side and like, can you make it with like light chicken and like a drizzle of the balsamic? But I am low maintenance. but then they also go at the end of, and they don't really hold you to that, but that's what they're called. Usually I just go, can I have this? And I point at it because I don't feel,
And they're like, wow, she's not brave. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they always, after your order, they go, okay, thank you for that. Would you guys like to hear our question of the day? And they always have some kind of question that's like, what's the biggest risk you've ever taken? And it's just supposed to conjure an interesting conversation to like be introspective and like share.
Yeah.
And they always go, would you like to hear a question of the day? And the guy was very nice, our waiter. We ordered, getting along. He's like, would you guys, okay, I'll be back with your drinks. Would you guys like to hear the question of the day? And I go, no. And he goes, okay. And he walks away. And Lizzie was just like,
I mean, there is, yeah.
He wasn't asking, hey, do you want
and I
fries
go,
with that?
I go,
He's probably never been told no.
well, first of all, I don't want the question of the day. We didn't need a question to get us talking. No is an answer. No, thank you, maybe would have been a better way, but I didn't say it like no. I just go, no. And she was laughing. She was like, just the way you said that, like, I would never say that. And I was like, but why? I wasn't being rude. And he didn't seem bothered by it. But she was like, it was like you getting embarrassed when I pick up dog shit with leaves. Like, she was so embarrassed that I had been so
Well, it's very
dry.
Curb Your Enthusiasm, where, like, Larry always talks about, like, what would he do in a situation if he was just being really honest? You know what I mean? Is that Larry's impression?
No, I had a dream last night
Am I Larry David?
that I was dating, that I was like hooking up with Larry David and like actively pursuing him. And like it was between him and another guy. I remember being like, who am I going to pick? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just like really attracted to Larry David. Like we're having a good time. He's like sexy to me. I want to like make out with him. And I like was horny for Larry David. And I think I could be, honestly. I mean, I think he's married now.
He's a sexy man.
Yeah, he definitely is.
He knows exactly who he is. That's why he's so hot.
That's it. Yeah.
He wears his khakis. He's got like 3 different sweaters. He's got comfortable shoes on. He's happy with being bald. There's something about a bald man who doesn't shave his head, who keeps it long on the sides, that's very confident.
I mean, him walking on stage before
you know
he was
what I
famous
mean?
doing
Like,
stand-up.
grow it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
The confidence of walking on stage at
Sure.
Stand-Up New York. There's a famous story of him being a comic. And this is before, he was known for Seinfeld. Or maybe he was still developing it or whatever. But he walked on stage. He looked at the crowd. They're like, Larry David. And he walks up and he just looks at the crowd and he just goes, no. And
That's
he just
you.
walks
That's
off.
you with the question of the day. It's
Yeah.
the same thing.
I mean, that's why when you said Larry David, I was like all of a sudden aroused. And I was like, oh my God, my dream. Do you ever have that where you like remember a dream that you would have forgotten?
Yeah, I also blew Larry David last night, which is weird.
Dun, 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 dun. Let's get to the news.
You heard it here first. Yeah, you heard it here first.
What's Larry David's real last name?
I think it's David.
I don't
Lewitz.
Yeah, it's probably more Jewy.
Oh, really?
It's interesting.
I love that we're like, he's just who he is.
Yeah,
It's like, did he change his Jewish last name?
He has that one joke about jerking off with 100 of... He goes, the closest
Oh,
I
no,
ever
I
came
think it's
to
Larry
dying...
Star of David. Can you imagine? Wait, what did you say? What is this joke?
I like that there's an of in there, too, to make you
Star of.
Star of.
It's almost like, Handmaid's Tale, where they're all named
Taylor Tistic.
of Corey. That would be your name, right?
Of Corey. That's
Because your husband's name is Corey. It'd be of Corey.
Yeah.
He has a joke, though.
Wait,
He goes,
Noah's would be great.
the closest I ever came to dying is jerking off with 104 fever. Have you ever masturbated when you shouldn't, like where you're on the verge of death?
No.
I had mono, which is a funny thing to jerk off to because...
On the verge of the kissing disease.
Well, it's a kissing disease, and the more you activate your body, the more you're sick. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
You're literally going against
Oh my
yourself.
God. You're like a
Wow.
salmon who's trying to spawn upstream.
I'm picturing you activating your body.
Oh my
jerking
God.
off.
I put
Set
on
the
workout
controls.
clothes.
All right.
All right,
wait,
well,
what's our first story?
I hope you're having all the swells
Oh, yeah.
out there. Had a great weekend. We sure did. We had great shows in St. Louis. Thank you for everyone coming out of the closet. Okay, first story. A product review company scanned tweets and found that KFC, not the KFC we know, Kentucky Fried Chicken, is the most hated fast food chain in the world, with customers mostly complaining about quality. In the U.S., Domino's Pizza is the most hated, getting flack for its subpar customer service,
Okay.
issues with delivery. What's your feeling on fast food hate? Starbucks got a lot of hate.
You know, the Starbucks gets hate because people are paying $6 for milk and coffee, and they feel entitled, and they like their specific order. And I watch people. That's entitlement. No one should be upset about any of this cheap ass food because it's so fucking cheap. The people making it for you are making not enough money to even have a 1-bedroom apartment in America. Why should Domino's give you good customer service? They don't. You don't tip well. Americans are not good tippers, even though the tipping is a failed, form of like we're not supposed to have a tipping culture is like bad for the economy and bad for people, I guess, from what I've understood. But I don't. When I get bad service at a place that has like endless salad bar for $9.99 or something, like it should be bad service. Like stop expecting good service when you're paying for chickens that have been.
Starbucks being bad service, you're paying $7 for a coffee. Don't you think you should get great service?
My argument there is let me take that back. Don't expect good service for when you are supporting a company that doesn't compensate their employees accordingly. Like whenever there is bad service, it's because these people aren't being paid enough or aren't being appreciated enough for the work they're doing. So if it's unhappy employees.
But I guess you could also say that plenty of people that make a great salary are shitty fucking workers too. But that's
right. But
like if you went into a pizza place and it was $40 for a pizza, maybe you'd get a waiter that would be like,
hipster service.
The opposite
you're
of
out
that.
I'm not seating you in the good table.
No, because then there would be more complaints online about high-end places. When you go to a high-end restaurant and you have a dining like the guy the other night was calling us baby and
that was
sir
a little
and
much.
like, but they wait on you hand and foot because they're charging a bigger price and like.
What is your favorite fast food, or when you're
really
eating?
ticks me off when people get like the customer's always right at a Pizza Hut. Like these people are making $8 an hour. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like this, I just and tip so much. Tip if you can afford it. You must tip 100%.
I guess we could
on really cheap stuff.
go even deeper there and go, well, the person that is paying $8 for this pizza, they also get paid a barely living wage, so that's a lot of money to them.
But think about how I get it, but also just know that you shouldn't at your job where you work and make that shitty price. You don't want to. Maybe you do have pride and you like are really good at your job and stuff, but you're not this person who might have had a really hard day or whatever. Just more empathy across the board. Fast food for me, Subway is the only place I would go.
Oh, Subway was hated a lot here.
Yeah, I get that.
Subway, when you walk past it, that smell is like it's an interesting smell.
Do you eat fast food, Kirsten?
I like fast casual. Like there's some places that I just can go pick up it's more like bowls and like not fast food like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I don't have a need
Chick-fil-A,
for
the people are nice, right?
You know
I
how
fucking
slow I
love
am, Nikki? I
Chick-fil-A.
don't need fast anything.
Yeah, that's true.
But maybe like crazy bowls and wraps.
Today, Kirsten was like, "Do you ever eat nut butter? Like just a scoop of nut butter, just to on the go?" And I go, "I'd just rather have like a protein bar that has the same stuff in it. Like the protein bars I eat are pretty raw and like." And I go, "I'd just rather have it." And she goes, just like when you're like in a rush." And I'm like, "What? A protein bar is the most easily rushed food ever."
Well, just to add to a meal, like I like to have like a lunch, and then when I want that little delicious, like these nut butters they're making now are so. You could try the one I bought last night, like Nutso, Fix and Fog. They're like artisan with seeds
no, you're not
and
wrong.
maple syrup and cashews. It's like it's not peanut butter and almond butter. They're like
You're right.
it's like a dessert, like those the RX almond butter with vanilla and egg white and date.
Yeah, Kirsten created a thing where she puts them in the freezer.
Yeah, someone at the gym told me this. Shout out to Stephanie. You
Shout out,
put those
Steph.
little packets in the freezer, squish them up first, get the oil mixed around, and then pop it out. And it's like
frozen fudge like treat.
on the go. And you just like suck it out of the package. Like
Well, you figured out a lot of ways
Great.
to eat unhealthy healthy. Like a lot of the chocolates you get that I try, it's like, does this come right from the cocoa tree? Like it really
Right
does.
from the
Like I eat a
cocoa.
lot of Snickers, and then I'm like, oh wait, this is what chocolate should taste like.
Yeah,
It's
like the honey mamas.
But you
Yeah.
love Chick-fil-A.
I'm obsessed, and talk about service. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
You
they're
drive
really
through.
nice.
They got a
what
guy
do they do?
standing.
Do they
out-
pay well,
They
or do
probably
they
give
just
good
like?
benefits.
What do you think?
Probably.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think so. I think they take care of the people that work there. I know
There you go.
they got a lot of slack for the homophobic stuff, but I mean, I
Let's
think
let it slide.
well,
I'm just kidding.
chicken is good, but
I
no,
mean,
but I
like,
do. They probably employ a ton of. I would say there's a ton of gay people that actually probably work for Chick-fil-A,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the head guy was very homophobic, who's now dead.
Let's be honest. The head
So it's
guys
like-
of most corporations are probably pretty homophobic.
Yeah, I'm sure
Like,
the
it all
owner of Taco
starts-
Bell doesn't love gay guys. You know,
Like-
I did a salary search for Chick-fil-A
thank you.
employees and Starbucks, and their salaries are pretty comparable. Just so you know.
what about KFC?
I do want to say though that Starbucks, just going on their subreddit, I know so much like they used to have a business model that was very pro like Starbucks employee. They had benefits. They had great
That's
like
how they all
hours.
start,
They
yeah.
all they call themselves partners, not employees. And now something has happened where they've just become like the mobile orders are just. Those are nightmares for Starbucks people. They've now doubled how many drinks they need to make. And people that will mobile order and then arrive 1 minute later and be like, "Where's my drink?" And it's like, that's not how this
And
works.
then there's the drive-through, and then there's people walking in,
Oh, I
and then, so
feel-
you have three people back there.
It's like
and
walking into a triage every time you go into a Starbucks.
Like
It
an
really,
ER.
I feel so much for those employees, and we'd love to hear voice memos or any kind of like a tale of working in fast food, and if it is because of what you're making. Let's get to the next story.
Next story. A study suggests that a way a person cheats depicts the kind of affair they will have, which is kind of interesting. So those who admitted to cheating out of lack of love or resentment toward their partners had affairs that lasted longer and were more likely to end their primary relationship.
That makes sense.
Those who cheated because of situational considerations like stress or alcohol had shorter and less sexually gratifying engagements.
Yeah.
Makes sense because you're just
you know,
cheating when
whenever
you're
you
fucked
go,
up.
you get cheated on. I always said that, like, if you get cheated on and you're like, "You cheated on me, John," and he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Where?" "Just at this bar with my friends." "So you were just like wasted?" "No, I actually was designated driver that night." She was just like, "So you sober cheated on?" Like, wait, can you just tell me you were wasted? It just like it lessens the blow. Like, you must hate me.
Also, all your drunk friends were in the car with the girl you cheated on
Yeah,
me
yeah.
with. Yeah, she got shotgun. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're in the back. Yeah.
Do they like her? Is she like a better hang than me?
She's pretty cool.
That's the problem.
I really got to know her.
If cheating is happening because you're not getting your needs met in a relationship, emotionally, physically, whatever it is, of course those relationships are going to, those, affairs are going to have longer lasting, they're going to last longer because they are based on things that are, fulfilling a need, a basic human need, as opposed to just a fling, like getting your dick sucked or whatever.
This is interesting. People who cheat
getting your
because
soul
of
sucked.
anger are more likely to tell their partners, which makes sense because they're doing it not because they want new pussy. They want to hurt the pussy they have or the
Yes.
penis they have.
I always say that in my act about like girls who go, when I tell girls you shouldn't sleep with a guy who's not your boyfriend if you want him to be your boyfriend, and they go, "But I like sex, Nikki. I'm just making up a character that's like, but I want to." And I'm like, okay. She's like, "You know what? If he doesn't want to be my boyfriend, I'll just say, fine, I'm going to sleep with other guys." And it's like, but you want this guy to be your boyfriend. So I'm guessing if you're sleeping with him, you're probably in love with him, right? So yeah, you're going to go sleep with other guys. Let me guess. You're probably not going to be able to do that because when a girl's in love, she kind of is just tunnel vision for one guy. The best you'll be able to do is bludgeon yourself with alcohol to the point that you can make out with some guy that kind of reminds you of your boyfriend. And then you're going to, in the middle of it, you're going to kind of like forget that it's not, or you're going to remember it's not him. And then you're going to start crying and be like, "I cheated on him." Then you're going to call the guy that you want to be your boyfriend and be like, and think that this is going to get him to be like, "I do love you. Don't be with other guys." But instead it makes him fucking hate you and never talk to you again. And that's what happens.
Strategy.
But I think that's what girls do
But at least
sometimes.
you get that kiss.
Yeah, you like you go and you make out with someone to be like, fine. He's going to see that I can cheat. I can be with other people too if he doesn't want to commit to me. And it's like, that's not going to work on him. He's not going to like you after that.
And then you're like, fine, I'm just going to go back to the guy that kissed me in the bar. And then you go back to him. He goes, I was fucking drunk. I didn't even like you.
yeah.
Like, ew. Like, this is
We're
what you look like.
cousins.
Yeah,
I just did a 23andMe and we can't go back to
this
that.
is our house bar at our parents' house. And we're in the basement, you
All right,
loser.
let's take a quick break and we'll be right back with Why Do I Care? Why do I care? All right, Andrew, why do I care?
I don't know to this day. All right, Kirsten Bell?
I think,
Don't look at me.
wait, do you know? Oh, wait, Kristen Bell.
Kristen
Kirsten
Bell.
Bell
Yeah.
reveals why she dislikes the term relationship goals
Oh, yeah.
being applied to her
And
marriage
Dax.
with Dax
Why are
because
you
it's
saying it like
inauthentic. I don't know why. I just because it's inauthentic. And says the messy pair go to therapy to keep their relationship healthy.
Yeah, when people go relationship goals underneath people's pictures on Instagram, like, yeah, that must be irritating for people who are like, no, this isn't what you see on camera and on Instagram. We're not showing you like all the work that goes into it, and it's just not like.
I know, but I love when people go, why don't you show the real It's like, oh, you want us to show us crying and me getting hit by her? Like, is that the photo you want
Yeah.
to see?
No, people don't want to see that. But I do that for people. There's some people that I go, relationship goals. Like, there are, like, Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly for me right now is relationship goals. Like, that love
all
that
we
won't
see,
last.
yeah, we just see them like on a motorcycle making out with hard tongues, and we're
Not
just
like,
like
filling out
Who
their
is relationship
will
goal?
with their lawyer or something.
yeah, or just eating at freaking KFC.
I would say you.
Not throwing the can away.
You and your husband, Corey, I would say are relationship goals. Like, the way
How do you
that
feel when you hear that?
I feel really great hearing that because
I would like that. I would like
know.
that kind of partnership. I feel like you both give each other space. You both like love each other. You both fulfill each other's needs in ways that aren't like, I can't live without you, but like you make each other happy. Like he is okay with you having like friendships outside of him. He's not threatened by, he doesn't seem to be a jealous person. He's, not that everything in your life is perfect, but I would say that you guys seem to have a healthy relationship. What do you think of that?
I love
And what do you
hearing that.
attribute it to? And would you say that that's a correct assumption?
I think that's a very correct assumption. I think it's because we met in our late 20s, early 30s. Like I was 28, he was 30. I'd already been an adult and like made my life how I wanted it to be. We both had worked on ourselves before then. And
Did you wait to have sex?
And we waited
How long?
probably like 4 months.
Whoa.
Because we were
Whoa.
dating. I was coming out of a relationship that was 3 years with an older guy, and I just was like,
You said one time you were leaving a gas station and someone asked you if he was your dad.
yeah, we were going to the lake down in Missouri somewhere, and this woman walked up. She was like, "Is that your dad?" It was like a quick trip, and I just felt like I had like baby bangs at the time, so I kind of was playing it up a little bit, but I don't know. After a long relationship
Had
like
a
that,
lollipop in your mouth. which
Yeah.
was
yeah, I had a
weird.
baby bonnet on and a big
She was in
diaper.
a carriage that he was
And I
pushing.
said, "Daddy, give me a lollipop."
She was in a baby Bjorn chest to his chest.
With the bottle.
So yeah, it was more contextual.
You were in a car seat.
Yeah.
It
So,
was-
like,
yeah.
coming out of that, I knew I just was like, oh, relationship, I don't want. I will never again kind of fake being calm and like put together and like stylish and like blogger. For anybody, they're gonna see me as like my spazzy. Like they have to see the grossest face I make, like I can make when I'm trying to make someone laugh. Like
Yeah.
be spaz and like, "Whoa!" And they'd still find me attractive and fun.
Did you?
So I
were
didn't
you able
fake
to
it.
be that way with Corey instantly though?
Yes, I remember.
How do you know?
Because in my head I go, I like really like this guy, but I don't love him enough to be like, I'm gonna like shape who he wants me to be. I just knew I was cued in to know that he just wanted me to be myself.
How did you meet him?
I don't know how that, just through friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say that like it was,
So why did you wait to have sex?
well, I was dating a couple other guys at the time. So a couple of other Virgos were lined up.
Listen, Virgos.
And I was really just dating because I was having like summer of fun. I had kind of stopped drinking. I mean, I still drink, you know that, but I was sober.
Saying that you drink like one glass of wine every 3 weeks.
I probably have like 4 drinks in a month, maybe.
Okay, so There we go.
So
All the same night though, and then you cheat on your husband.
Well, and the night we met, it was like a First Friday art event, and I was down in the Crossroads. We were at this like big party thing, and
She's from Kansas City.
I think I had biked down there, and I was like wearing a little dress. I was like living that life where I had a bag full of spinach from the farmer's market, and I was just like walking around with this huge bag of
So
spinach.
you sound like the girl that I would try to be to get a guy.
But I was like in a
you and your
hippie vibe. I was like,
Yeah.
just here I am, and he was like,
You're just
"Who's
eating
this girl with a
spinach out of
big
the
bag
bag?
of spinach?" No, I just go to the farmer's
bought it
market,
for, like, cooking.
Oh, okay.
and I was literally in
thing
a,
we've never done.
Never.
I was in like an F-boy, F-bi mode.
Yeah.
Where I just was like, I'm not having any of this bullshit of trying to be this person. So we literally dated. I would send him home at the end of the night because I like didn't want him to see me in the morning just yet. I was like, okay, I just want to like do my thing. I was living alone. And he was totally cool with that. And like seeing him leave at the end of the night when we'd been like hanging out and say, I got to get up in the morning. And he would walk away and just be like, okay, have a great night. And just like seeing him walk away and get on his bike to go home, I was like, God, he's the one.
So
bicycle
when did
or
you
a
finally?
motor-
He would just like bike. Yeah. Like we
bicycle.
were, you know, when you're younger, you like bike everywhere and like
Yeah.
you just like are up for that. Not
What?
anymore.
When did you finally sleep together? Like when you were ready to lock it in?
Yeah. It was like we were both ready for that.
Did you have a talk
and-
about like what you were?
Yeah. But it wasn't like we were consciously like before we define anything, but I think just the waves of energy were telling us to wait until
Yeah.
we weren't like waiting for Jesus or anything. We were literally
Sure.
just waiting.
Till it felt right.
Yeah. So I think we were both vulnerable and like he hadn't been in a serious relationship and he knew this was
Were you
like,
in love by the time you had sex?
Yeah.
That's so special. Was
then
it
it
like
was-
really good? Was it like so? Do you remember the first time you had sex and like it was a special moment?
yeah.
That's
I do.
so nice.
It was very late it was like late night, like 3 a.m.
I feel like I've
We'd
reached
stay
the
up all
same
night.
exact place where you're at, where it's like, I can't go into anything anymore of like trying to be, and it's obviously sounds like so duh. Why not? Well, just be yourself. But like
does sound
truly,
duh.
like I'm not ashamed of who I am anymore, and I think that's so. The reason I used to try to be other women was not because I was trying to be the version of this girl that this guy would love, was because I really just I didn't want to be myself even without trying to impress a guy. Like I was always trying to be someone else. And now when my room is a mess, like and I have a guy over, like I'm not like, can I go in first? And like, I mean, I don't want like dirty underwear on the floor just because like that's something sometimes I leave behind in a rush. But like
Cardinal streak.
I am the cardinal streak. I just like, I'm like, you know what? I'm not a bad person because
No.
my room is I have a cluttered desk. And if you can't love me for that, or if that's going to be a red flag for you, it just isn't going to work.
It won't work.
And I know that's easier said than done because I used to hear this all the time. Like, who hasn't heard that advice of like, if they can't love you at your worst, or like, but it's really about like accepting yourself for those things and being like, you know what, when I look in the mirror in the morning and I look like the most let's say disgusting version of myself with no like just, and I go like, I still love that version of myself. I'm not like, I can't go out, people can't see this, like I'm still worthy of love.
I feel like,
looking
as
that.
a guy, when like if like I love Brenna very much, like if she doesn't have makeup on and like obviously she looks different with makeup on, like everyone looks more put together. It's not like I'm like registering like, oh, now you don't have makeup, like, oh, I don't like this face. You know what I mean? It's like I just love your face, whether it's like I don't see a difference
Yeah.
really. Like
I
you
always
start.
thought-
You start not to see a different. You're not like clocking in like, oh wait, this is who you are. Oh!
Guys always notice
But I
that.
get it though. Like if it's early, it could be
But
scary.
girls, I just
Yeah.
want to say to girls listening out there, like the pressure to have sex with guys, if a guy is going to make you feel bad because you don't want to have sex, you don't have to have any reason for why you don't want to have sex.
Yeah.
You don't have to ever say it's because of this. You can just say, okay, let's call it a night. I still have pangs of like, oh, he probably has a boner and like wants to like get off and I'm not going to get him off. It's fine. Send them away. I swear to you, they're only going to like you more. And I know it goes against everything you're thinking of like, but he's going to be mad at me or disappointed. That's always in the back of my head as well. Just try out doing what you want to do always when it comes to sexuality. Like, don't ever do anything because they want it. You know, do it if they want it because you want to do something for them because you love them. You know, like girls aren't sucking dick because they love the feel of it, but because they're doing it because the guy wants it.
Some do. No one? You've never put a penis in your mouth?
If girls don't suck their dildos for fun.
But guys don't eat out pocket pussies.
Exactly.
For fun.
You guys are doing it because you enjoy giving us pleasure.
Yes.
Right.
But you don't like a penis in your mouth?
Not, I do when I'm with the person who is his penis it is, and I can see that they're getting pleasure from it, and it tastes like them and stuff. Like if I just had a penis that tasted like my boyfriend that wasn't attached to him, and like I would not just suck it for fun. No, I wouldn't. And that's how you determine if you're doing something for fun. When it's like when people go, I love tequila. I go, okay, if tequila didn't have alcohol in it, would you really drink it? And they go, yeah. And I'm like, well, do you drink non-alcoholic beer?
Actually, I told you I drink non-alcoholic beer.
I know, and I think you also like.
She also puts the bottle in her mouth.
You also like matcha, and that's
It's like a
gross
kombucha,
taste.
though. We'll talk about it later. But
Yeah. All right. Let's get to top one.
No, we're doing final thought, I think. No.
Just based on time, Nikki, I think you have
yeah.
a call in 10 minutes.
We could do top one, bottom one tomorrow, I guess.
Let's
Alright, we could
do final thought, top one, bottom one.
Oh, okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. Final thought. We're gonna do top one, bottom one for a final thought because I gotta get on a call here in 10 minutes. The top one, bottom one topic for today is
Basic things that people like.
basic bitch stuff, like things that would be described as basic. That we both, a thing that you love the most, that you indulge in, and a thing that you hate the most that either you indulge in or like other people do. I'll start us off. The number one thing that I love that is so basic that I have
we're
no
going
shame
with
about
love
it.
first?
Oh wait, sorry, we're starting with hate.
Yeah.
Blech, Nikki, come on.
Man.
I'll start with mine. The thing that I hate the most is what I just said. People who glamorize drinking and are like, it's wine o'clock, or like, well, who needs a therapist when I have wine, and act like they like the taste of alcohol. You don't. You like the way it makes you drunk, and that's okay. But don't lie to me and say you like the taste of whiskey. You don't. You don't. You just don't. And if you think you do, I know that people out there are raging right now, but I always prove this when I went to. There was a froyo shop that was doing a Guinness flavored froyo.
Oh, that's
okay.
like putting a dick in your mouth. That's not
And people say
attached.
they love Guinness, the taste of Guinness.
Yeah.
And maybe you're like, well, I don't like the taste of Guinness. There are people that would claim they love the taste of Guinness or love the taste of beer. There was a beer flavored froyo, and which obviously did not have alcohol in it. And I went up to it was at 16 Handles in New York, and I go, how many people are getting that? And he goes, oh, people just try it, but no one actually gets it. It's like, yeah, because no one likes the taste of alcohol. You like the taste. It's like blowjobs. You don't like blowjobs. If blowjobs weren't connected to the feeling you get from giving someone a good feeling and getting the feedback back, you wouldn't like blowjobs. Inherently, blowjobs don't taste good. The taste might remind you of all of that. Coffee doesn't taste good, but I like black coffee because it gives me energy and I'm addicted to it. So that's that to me. I know that you're like, Nikki, get off your high horse about this, but why don't you read The Easy Way to Stop Drinking by Alan Carr and you get back to me. So that's my least favorite basic thing is like drinking culture.
My least favorite, I think, is the people that the hustle hard culture of like waking up at 4 a.m. Like Mark Wahlberg.
Millionaire
like,
mindset.
Yeah, it's yeah. Oh well, Gary V. Any of that, like.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Just pull yourself up by the. You didn't have to go to college. Fuck college. Just fucking buy a fucking lemonade stand. Open 19 of them. Sell the lemonade. Then buy limes. Turn those limes into more lemons. And the next thing you know, you own the fucking world.
So good.
Shut up, Gary. But yeah, the 4 a.m. or like I wake up, I don't even see the sunrise. The sun has never rise. I eat dumbbells at 1 a.m. It's like fuck you, man. But also I'm like projecting a little because I'm like, man, that's pretty cool that
You
they can
wanna
hustle
be
that hard. But
You've
then
gotten into some of those
I
guys
know, of
before.
course.
The one time I filmed you in the
My
Caymans when you were
Goggins.
passed out and your shirt was like up against like you're just passed out, like just looks like a drunk passed out on the couch. And David Goggins' audiobook is playing to be like, you get up every morning and you look in the mirror and you hustle. You don't take no for an answer. And you push yourself till you can't
and
even.
I'm sleeping on the
And you were
couch at
sleeping on
2
the couch.
p.m.
It was just echoing through it was so ironic. It was hilarious.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Okay, Kirsten, what is your least favorite basic thing?
I think my least favorite basic thing would be, and I'm so sorry, I really don't want to offend anybody, but like influencer culture. Influencers there's a scale. There's some people are doing good, but I just think the overall culture is a little hard to witness.
I talked about you at the top of the show, us making fun of it on
Oh,
Instagram.
perfect. So I just feel like people living their life through what will the masses like.
Wait, can you do a picture right now for us of like the Wacky Face Wednesday, like where a girl would do the picture like,
Hold up higher. That's bad angle.
oh, it's, okay, sorry.
Up.
Okay, so it would be this face. Okay, and then that caption would be,
Work hard, play hard. Wednesday vibes.
it's just like the face she's making is kind of like a scrunch up, like with her eyebrows raised.
To
like,
make my lips
kooky.
bigger. It's like,
Yeah, like kind of like duck face, but like,
What would your podcast be called as an influencer that believes in Wednesday vibes? Like,
oh my God, I need to think about this one. Like something with millionaire mindset in it.
yeah.
Like fitness. I don't know, like
Just
I can't
fitness?
think of
I
it.
kinda-
I was trying to think of what to it. I couldn't. I was
The
thinking of like,
Wednesday women, like the Wednesday women patrol. It's like, get the fuck out of our way. We're groundbreakers. We wake up at 3 a.m. for a 4-hour ritual and go to bed at 7. Even though that
7
is kind
a.m.
of like my life, but
Yeah, it really is.
I don't put out there like 4:30 a.m. Get started. Got my 60-minute meditation matcha routine. And
it's just
off to
bragging,
the
and
day.
like also you didn't. And we all know
It's
this. I
not
mean, this is almost
influencing.
basic to make fun of influencers, but
know, I
like,
don't wanna-
they all have to have someone take their picture. Like, whenever you see a girl with a cozy cup of tea and like journaling,
so
she had to go,
embarrassing.
"Hey, honey, will you take this picture?"
or timer.
and like had
Timer.
to go set it up and press the timer and then go sit and then go grab her phone. Like, think of the bookends of all of these
There's
pictures.
45
And
of those photos in there.
I
in
like
her
to think
phone.
about the aggression behind it. Like, no, seriously, get
I need to
Come-
look
one
more
more.
relaxed.
Just
I
like you,
need-
like that's a
one
bad
more-
angle. Hold it
No,
up.
get over. Get over. Why are you
Me-
wearing why aren't you wearing shorts? Get Brian. The influencer husband is we should get into that.
I
Yeah.
mean, okay,
yeah.
Well,
let's.
he's
my one.
cashing those paychecks. He loves it. He's like
Yeah.
becomes part of it.
He gets tagged.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I would say my number one, and he has the passwords to her Instagram, so he can see if she's like cheating on him. He probably feels a sense of control. My number one.
You helped me build this. I helped you build it, and now you're cheating on
this
me with
empire.
with Tuna Tom, who has, who like wakes up, grinds hard, and cuts tuna.
My number one favorite basic thing is Starbucks. Like I'm embarrassed that like I'm not someone who wants the mom and pop coffee shop. I'm not someone who's like, oh, this roast is my favorite. I just like Starbucks. And it's not because of the coffee. It's because of the milk that they use. It's because of the cup feels good in my hand. It's all the marketing behind it. I am a brainwashed lemming for Starbucks. I love it. I'm a basic bitch. I'm not a pumpkin spice basic bitch, but I have no judgment of them. Andrew, what is your favorite?
I mean, it's probably a tie between golf and Chick-fil-A. And my Corolla. Like those three things combined just makes me such a basic simp bitch. Like all I do is drive a 2021 Corolla to the
Right.
golfing range with a golf shirt on, and I've never been happier. That's
Yeah.
all I need in life is
True.
those three things.
It makes
and Brenna,
me so
I miss
happy
you,
that
Matt. I miss
like
you, Brenna.
we miss you so much, Brenna. It makes me happy that you get so much joy out of golf. Like it was a thing that you weren't doing in your life that's like brought you so much freaking joy. Like sometimes
did in
someone
my gets
20s
too,
a
yeah.
dog or a cat and you're
Yeah.
like, how did you exist before this thing in your life?
I mean,
you know?
it's just like every day is different with golf, and it sounds so cheesy.
Oh,
but,
I
like,
know.
The older I get, I go to these different golf courses, and I look around. I'm like, there's this one called Anbriar, and it's in the middle of a cornfield. You drive down a road where you think they kill Jewish people, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't drive down this road. You know, I'm not gonna tell anyone I'm Jewish, whatever.
Yeah.
And I drive and I make
Andrew
a
Starr of
left.
Collin.
Yeah, Andrew Starr of Collin, which would be a great country club. And then I drive down, and it just opens up, and there's hills, and you know, like a guy wakes up at 4 a.m. to hustle hard to make that green perfect. And I don't know, and like you just think of like all the thought that went into like making these hills and making the sand trap, and you're like, fuck, there's so much history here. I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
I never thought about that as a kid of like how long it took to cut the grass or like whoever designed this, how they had to like be creative.
You just
and
like
think.
love consuming golf, and
Yeah.
like it makes me. I know that feeling of like. Because I love anything Taylor Swift, and it like sends a surge through my body that I never had before, and I'm like, oh my god, like what would I do without this thing that I'm so
a
passionate
golfophile.
about?
I'm a golfophile.
Yes, you are,
And you're a Taylorphile.
And to take us out, Kirsten, we got to go. But what is the number one thing that you love? That's so basic.
Hands down, we kind of covered it, but activewear. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love Lulu. I
Hell
will wear.
yeah, dude.
I live in leggings. I mean, I am a trainer, so I can do it with a
Right.
reason. But it's comfortable. It's pretty.
Yeah, I heard you and
flattering.
Brenna talking about like some dress with a built-in bra, and I was like, I can't with this activewear talk.
It works great on an active. What is it called? Like, I'm not saying like a fit body, but like a athletic frame. I think it's a great option for attire.
Do you want to give us a promo code
And I'm not
a little caption for your activewear
Coupon
picture?
code 30% off if you mention KFlow Fit right in here. That's my maiden name.
Are you going to start an activewear company? I feel like you should.
I do have a full line. Thank
Oh.
you for asking. Actually, it's good promo. I don't.
No,
actually,
you
but-
should at some point.
No, there's enough activewear out there. I just like to consume it. And Lululemon is the most basic one, and I love it. I'm sorry.
We gotta go. Thank you
Okay.
so much for being here, Kirsten. It's been a
Thank
great
you.
weekend with you. I've loved having this all robe episode. Look for this one on YouTube in a couple days, you guys, if you're listening to it. Thank you so much. We'll be here all week. We love you, besties. So good to meet you after the shows this weekend, or the show this weekend. More tickets available on nikkiglaser.com/tour. And we'll see you tomorrow. Don't be cut out there, and
Jack in the
activewear.
box.
Yeah.